So, real quick, hello everybody. I'm Justin, and I have some amazing guests here. Let's have them introduce themselves. Erica, do you want to begin?
Sure. My name is Erica, and I'm the digital resource librarian for the Tulare County Library System. I do a lot of stuff with adult services and a lot of our virtual services, so databases, virtual programs, that kind of thing. And I'm really excited to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Awesome. Steven.
How's it going, everybody? My name is Steven Sanchez. I am a photographer. I specialize in concerts, stand up comedy, comic book conventions, and sporting events. I am also a filmmaker, journalist, and a published author of this little book right here, Rock and Roll for Everybody, a photographic tour of today's bands, of all the concert photos that I took here in the Central Valley, ranging from Fresno to Bakersfield, with bands and genres and artists in all genres, ranging from rock, pop, indie, country, and folk. So yeah, the book encompasses all that good stuff.
And last but not least, Angelica.
Hi. Right now, I don't have a job except for my own little passion projects. I garden and have grown a lot of my own food this year. I run a bunch of book clubs and I join a bunch of book clubs. And I'm politically volunteering and active during this COVID thing. And I work on and help run a support group twice a week. So that's what I'm doing.
And you're drinking what kind of tea?
This is a lemon zinger. It is a hibiscus lemon mix, so I am totally jonesing on it. Yeah.
Nice. All right. So we haven't we haven't really decided who's gonna go first. Let's see, Stephen. It seemed like you have a lot of job titles, like more than a handful, more than two handfuls. So maybe you should go first to kind of to get that to get kind of cover everything. Because I don't know. I know you say you don't have any time crunches, but I feel like you might be hiding something. Like I know you got. I know you got a couple books in the works as well too. So I want to let you get back to writing some books. But how about let's go more in depth about you. So you're originally from Fresno.
Oh, Clovis.
Clovis.
I'm a Clovis resident. Yeah.
Clovis resident. You're born and raised in that area.
Born in Bakersfield. No, not my most proudest moment, but yeah, I was born in Bakersfield, but I was raised in Hollister till I was 7 and 8, and from 7 to 8, I've lived in Clovis for most of my life. Then I moved to Las Vegas and went to college for the University of Las Vegas, got a bachelor's degree in film, and I was there on and off for most of my post grad years till I want to say to like I was 25, 26. Then I moved back here, got a job with a local radio station, so I've been here for like the past 6 to 7 years. So yeah, I'm mostly a Central Valley kid, Clovis kid.
Cool. All right. And so tell me a little bit about Rock and Roll for Everybody. Where did you get the idea? Who published it? Do you have any other books coming up, or like you just making the tour of promoting that? Like tell me everything, like what inspired it, and give the background about all that stuff.
Oh, for sure. Well, like I showed before, here it is. Rock and Roll for Everybody. Right there, a photographic tour of today's bands, published by Amherst Media from Buffalo, New York. So the backstory of how everything got started was, like I said, when I came back and I worked for the local radio station, rock radio station, one of my many responsibilities was taking photos for the concerts that we would put on and the events that we would put on. And so I was doing that for a while, but I kind of just didn't like the fact that, we were using those, cheap portable cameras and using my cell phone. It was an old school cell phone. And so the quality wasn't good. But I would remember when I go to these shows, there'd be that dude with like the long lens and, the big cameras. I was like, we should do that. So I asked my mom to borrow her Nikon D3200. And the first show I shot was the Sick Puppies over at the Standard in Clovis, right by Woodward Park is. And so I saw the quality of those photos. I was like, do you know what? I want to stick to this. I want to stick to that camera. So progressively, which each show that we did, Trapped, we did Trivium, we did OTEP, and so different bands. And my photography got better and better. So I was like, do you know what? This is cool. I want to hone the craft. So I took a photography class at Clovis Community College. And then that's when my ability skyrocketed to where each show I was continually getting better. And then the acts got bigger and popular with Highly Suspect, with Shinedown, and this and that. And I was like, you know what? I'm getting a good little collective body of work here. I want to see, what better way I could promote my stuff. And then I came across this concert photography book at Barnes and Noble, and on it the publisher said, if you're interested in publishing a book, let us know. It was Amherst Media. So I just contacted them, not really thinking much of it, and then all of a sudden, boom, just like that, I got a response. I'm like, no, we want to work with you. We like your photography. Your stuff is good. I was like, oh snap. So it really became a reality so quickly. So once that happened, they were like, how many shows do you have? How many photos you have? And I already had a good bulk of work. But within the next year, I was going to get more bigger and bigger artists. So they're like, give it a year, collect what you can. And then after that, boom, we'll publish it. So my photographs encompass between like late 2017 all the way to early 2019 with a good amount of musicians and artists. And so right when we cut off our deadline, that's what you see in the book. So it was like late November 2017 of shows to like, I want to say January, February of 2019. And I was able to get a good group of artists and musicians in the book. So it was a good labor of love for about a good year or so. And that's how it came about.
Anybody else have any questions? Want to chime in on anything? Because I mean, I have a few more, but does anybody anything coming to mind from anybody? No, just me. Okay.
Sounds really cool.
Oh, thank you.
I wonder if we should get a copy.
Actually, I was about to ask you that when you said a Tulare library. I was like,
No, we're always looking to spotlight local artists.
Okay.
So I mean, I'll talk to you after.
Oh, please, yes.
So, but you're with
all right.
So, you're with the Tulare County Library, right? And that encompasses all the county.
Yeah, we're a pretty big system. Our main branch is out of Visalia, and we've got 17 locations all across Tulare County. And we also have a brand new pop-up library that hasn't been wheeled out yet because of COVID-19, but we go all over the county. So, and we definitely like celebrating the Central Valley and, highlighting local acts, artists, writers, all that good stuff.
Yeah, maybe.
Awesome. Yes, I need to talk to you after the show for sure.
Yeah, let's try to exchange emails and whatnot, and whatever. And yeah, it'd be cool to, because I know I've seen. I know you had. I'll probably talk to you about this later, Erica. But like the book fair kind of thing, that was pretty cool because you would have like local poets and writers come and do workshops and speak on their books. So maybe Stephen can kind of can come and check that out sometime.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, our annual book festival is one of the great venues we use to highlight, people like you, Stephen. Actually, our last one was completely virtual, but we had a local filmmaker show their own like horror film. We did a virtual screening. So even though we're not having an in-person festival yet, we did before, and we're still looking for ways to reach our community. And like I know that we're a rural community, but rural communities are still big ones.
Oh no, for sure.
So.
Oh, definitely. I in person, virtual. I really don't mind. I want to do it all. I mean, communication's communication. So whether if it's in person or not, I'm cool with that. But as a matter of fact, you said a local filmmaker who made a horror movie. Who's that person? I might know him or her.
Oh, Brian. He actually works with us as well. He works out of our Rosie branch. But it was called Candy Cane Lane, and it was a psychological thriller, and he got some awards for it in a local film festival as well. So really exciting.
Okay, cool. Then I gotta check that out. Then that's cool. I mean, like I said, I'm a filmmaker. I'm a film major, so I know a lot of people in the community. But in that case, yeah, haven't heard of it. I need to check it out.
Welcome, Natalie. Natalie?
Hi.
You're awake? You're awake? It's only 2 o'clock and you're already awake? I thought you and I usually get up about 5. I'm still like kind of sleepy-headed right now, but
I've been taking like separate naps, and I was gonna take a nap now, but then I don't know, I didn't feel tired.
All right, well, welcome. Natalie's a local musician, and and many other things. But anyway, Angelica, do you have anything to chime in about Steven's work at all? Natalie, this is Steven, Erica, and Angelica. They're all awesome people that we're just kind of promoting right now. But Angelica, anything to say to
Oh,
Steven?
I do. I was wondering how you picked your bands because actually I ran a circuit with my friend Amy. We used to hit a bunch of bands in the Sacramento area. We even followed this one band into a house in the middle of like between like Clovis and I don't know. It was within a peach orchard, and they just
Oh,
put a huge like house like. And so she used to photograph all that stuff, and we had so
okay.
much fun following like novice bands and yeah. So how did you pick your bands, and why did you really focus those things on your in your photographs?
Okay. Well, like I said, I worked for a rock radio station. So in the very beginning, it started out me photographing the rock bands of the shows that the radio put on. So that's how it first began. So it was more so towards that genre. And also with me, I'm a rocker. I love classic rock. I like heavy metal, I like hard rock. So once I left the station, that sort of became my specialty. I wanted to cover rock music. I wanted to cover all the classic rock and hard rock bands that came into town. So, and all the bands that I listened to too. So whenever I heard like, if Styx was in town, of Collective Soul, Three Doors Down, like I said, Shine Down, any of those bands that were in town, whatever venue it was, I had to make sure I had to contact that person's manager, publicist, agent, get the info. And so once I did, that's when I started, asking around. And then once I left the station, that's when I joined this independent publication company called Kings River Life Magazine, where we write about arts and entertainment and news across the Central Valley. So once I got in with them, that kind of became my in to these shows. So with me, it's, we're not LA. We don't have a lot of venues, but the venues that we have, those are the ones that I would check constantly, look at the websites, look at the alerts. So if, Strummers had a show, I would, check them to see, if I could do that one, Fulton 55, Tower Theater, and then, Bakersfield Fox Theater, and then obviously Save Mart Center and Solent Arena. So it was just a matter of me looking towards the venues that we have and just seeing who's in town, and then me marking down on my calendar who I wanted to see, who I should ask. So it was really just, thinking it out before it even happened. So it just took a lot of planning. So that's how it was. And then once I did rock, then I wanted to expand. Like I said, I wanted to do hip hop and do all this other stuff too. But rock is really where I started out, and that's really kind of where I lean towards. Though, but I'm looking to do more from here on out. So you can't just limit yourself.
Oh yeah. Who has been your favorite like band that you've seen and just totally rocked out to, and favorite venue?
Okay. That's a very tough question. That is very tough. It's one of those sacrilege questions. I mean, I guess, since, Tom Brady won the Super Bowl, he always had this famous quote when people would be like, hey, what's your favorite Super Bowl? What's your favorite ring? He always said it was the next one. So with me, I like to say that, my next show was my best one because, it's what keeps me motivated. It's what keeps me, wanting to, continue to make my work better. But if I had to look back and choose my best one, I would have to say, because growing up, I was a Kiss fan and I got to photograph Kiss. And that was awesome because, just the theatrics, the fireworks, the stage, the blood, it was very much eye candy to photograph, and it kind of, made that little young kid inside me excited. So I would have to definitely say Kiss though. But as far as like a real connection, I would have to say the last show I did before COVID came was Corn and Breaking Benjamin. That was a really, really fun show. And so that was really cool. And then like venue, I would have to say like Strummers, because I have a close connection with them. I kind of had a permanent residency with them where whatever show I wanted, they would let me shoot for free. I could just show up and be like, oh, hey, we'll let you in. So the people there are very nice. So I like that venue. But then I also have a lot of deep connections at Save Mart Center. And obviously Save Mart, they have more space for you to, unfortunately Strummers, there's no gate, there's no nothing. So if I shoot, I could be in the mosh pit, for crying out loud. But at the Save Mart Center, there's a barricade, so there's some space between you and the stage and the audience. So that's always a relief, knowing I could, have my way around the stage. So I mean, it's definitely between Strummers and Save Mart Center for different purposes. Save Mart has better lighting, Strummers not so much though, but the intimacy is cool. So really, you can't go wrong. I love all the venues here, and they always bring good acts. So
Nice.
it's about what you do with the camera, man. It's not about the other stuff.
So, Natalie, Erica, any questions for Steven? I have a couple up my sleeve. Natalie? No?
No, I don't have questions. You're vibing with everybody.
All right. Well, so how much is your book, Steven? Where is it at? I know it's in various shops and stuff like that and whatnot. Or can we get it directly from you? Can we hit you up on your? Do you have a Facebook page, or do we find you? You know, where do we get your book? How do we find it? How much does it cost? And yeah.
Well, yeah, if you're a distance away, yeah, you could get it at on Amazon.com, on BarnesandNoble.com. All you gotta do is type in the title "Rock and Roll for Everybody" by a photographic tour of today's bands by Steven Sanchez. Just type that in. You can buy it online. The prices fluctuate differently. It's between like $30 to $40, but we've been kind of changing the prices due to COVID and the holidays, so it's been different. But if you all are in the Valley and are looking to get it at discount, I'm selling it on discount. So if you want to DM me and go over prices and I could personally deliver it to you and get you your own autographed copy, please let me know. Yeah, contact me, Facebook, Insta. You want a copy? I'll be my own Amazon driver. I'll deliver it to you, autograph it, send you my business card, whatever, man. And pick up some donuts. I don't know. I'll do whatever, man. Gotta spread the word, man.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Shoot. Um. I guess.
Actually, I do. Oh, sorry.
No. Go on.
I'm curious too, Stephen. Like, what do you suspect is? I mean, I'm always curious because I'm a huge concert goer. My husband and I love going to the concerts. Jerry's Pizza was one of my best hangouts. Like the intimacy there.
Yeah,
I lost a shirt and a watch in one concert. Like that concert was awesome. And then as far as like the best mosh pit, that was in San Jose. And the last one we saw was Tool. I can't believe that's the last one we saw. But
I was there at that one too.
were you? That was it was a very cool scene. It's crazy that one of the guys got COVID and has had COVID since then.
The singer, yeah. He got COVID.
How do you expect the concert scene to go forward? Because I've been monitoring, like, how are they going to re-release people to go into concerts? Because it's such a tight packed thing. Like I remember like feeling crushed at one of these concerts and I'm like, COVID is really going to put a damper on some of this stuff. How do you think that they're going to go forward with concerts?
That's very tough. And it's, kind of heartbreaking for me to say it though, but I think it's going to take us quite a while for us to get back to where we were. Because like you're right, it is a very compact space, whether if you're in a small venue like Stormers or you're in a big one like Save More Center. I mean, it's a place that houses a lot of people. So that makes it easily accessible for people to get infected. It's just unfortunate that there was a lot of people before that didn't follow the protocols. I mean, all we had to do was wear our masks and sanitize and just stay indoors for a while. But you had people who broke those protocols. And now here we are a year with the lockdown still, while other places like New Zealand has opened up. I mean, they have concerts, they have stand-up comedy, they have open door events, but the things that New Zealand follow the rules are like, we have a problem, we have a lockdown, do as we say so we could get back to normal. And I think they were back to normal within a couple of months or so. With us, we didn't have that. So, a lot of people ruined it for other people. So I think it's going to take a while for it to come back, but it's probably going to slowly but surely come back like the way how sporting events have been, to where you could have limited people show, but there's got to be distance. So if it's a place of like 500 people, it might have to be 200, but you're going to have to like spread them out, first and foremost. And then slowly but surely, hopefully the more that, the pandemic goes down, then we could slowly let people, come back in. But just to do it fast, just because the lockdown's been lifted, no, that's just going to make things a lot more worse. So it's going to take some patience. It's going to take a while, but I don't see it happening quickly as far as sooner it goes. It's just not a reality, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I had BTS tickets. Oh, sorry.
Wait, say what?
I had BTS tickets from last May and I didn't get to
go.
Oh,
really?
Yeah. And now I've tried to watch the concerts online and they just don't feel right,
No, for sure.
So,
yeah.
It's just, the experience from concert going is going to be different.
Well, maybe
I prefer live too. I mean, I'm the exact same way. I love a live show. they're the best, they're great though, but sometimes, you just have to deal with the circumstances that, you're given. And even though, yeah, we don't have live shows, but the thing is that these musicians still have ways to make money. And sometimes virtual is the way to go. I mean, like I manage a band and they put out an EP, they've been putting out material, they've been practicing, they do virtual shows and stuff like that. So there are so many different platforms and so many ways that you can make money virtually now to where, concerts is still going to be the way to go, but there's ways to suffice it to keep yourself afloat that, you don't have to be strictly dependent on concerts anymore. So I kind of think that's the blessing in disguise from all this, is that musicians found a way to still keep the music going even without concerts. So, and it's the same goes with anything, the blessing in disguise is that a lot of people in a lot of industries found creative ways in which to keep themselves going. And that's how I felt like with my photography. Well, concerts got taken away from me, sadly. It was an adjustment, but I had to find other things to photograph and other ways to market myself. And so that's kind of what the blessing was, is that it definitely opened me up to, other ways and other options that I never would have done before had it not been for the pandemic. So I think there's a silver lining in it all. I really do think so.
Cool. Yeah, yeah. Maybe they'll slowly have like some like outdoor shows, like distance and stuff, and mass and whatever. But what do you have any plans for your next book?
Well, the plan right now is to get a bigger publisher to publish my next book, because with my next one, it's going to be a bigger one, because this last year I did bigger acts. Like I said, I did Korn, I did Breaking Benjamin, Kiss, Bob Seger, Sammy Hagar, Jackson Brown, Godsmack, Hailstorm. So with that, I'm looking for a bigger publisher to publish it for those acts. And right now I'm trying to look for a literary agent to represent me so I could find a bigger publisher in which to publish my sequel. And I want to get that out. And I kind of want it to be like the same in format, which is, it being an instruction manual on how to take concert photography, because surprisingly, the book that I did, it's actually the first of its kind in many categories. One, there's not a lot of Hispanic photographers in the industry. So I'm kind of one of the very few in that regard. There's been, I don't think that from the market research that me and the publisher did, there's no Hispanic photographers that have published a book on the subject. And third, a lot of photographers don't publish their books of their work, let alone photography, until they're older, like in their 40s and their 50s. With me, I published the book when I was 29, 30 years old. So I'm kind of the youngest to do that. And then the other thing is, most of these concert photography books that I see, they mostly take place in like Los Angeles, New York, places like that. When I tell people that my book took place in Fresno and Bakersfield, they're like, wait, what? So they're kind of shocked by that, yeah, they see these shows and they think it's somewhere else like San Francisco. And I'm like, no, it was in Fresno. So there really hasn't been a concert photography book that showcased the great musicians that have come through the Valley. So it really is a one of a kind book. Not only that one, but the next sequel I want to do. And really that's been the end goal, is to show people that the Central Valley is a good music mecca for entertainment. And for anyone touring, you can't gloss over this area. So it's been very much like my advocacy to want to put the music scene here on the map, because we got a good one, bands coming in and the bands and musicians that should be coming out. So
Definitely.
Fresno can't be ignored any longer. So
It's awesome. So did you, before you get going, or I mean, think of, if anyone has any other questions, think of them right now. Before, yeah, you're more than welcome to stick around and check out everyone else's interview. But you don't, no worries on if you have to get going. I understand. But do you want to share any? I know you've been brainstorming some ideas. Is there any documentaries in the work? Is there any kind of hidden secret stuff that you're allowed to possibly talk about? Or are you trying to keep that secret? Because I know you've been scheming on your next plan in life. Are you gonna have your own publication? What's going on in your brain for the future, for like 10 years from now?
oh wow. Well, I'm just mostly focusing on what I got going on right now. As of right now, it's been me pushing the book out there. Like I said, the 2020 was kind of an adjustment, so I've been having to take a lot of opportunities under my waiting to get some stuff done. But as of right now, it's been me trying to get the book in local stores or like that with Erica, getting the book in the libraries, getting the book out there which way I can, trying to get the sequel going. And the more photography I do, the more books I'd like to put out. And music wouldn't just be just the next sequel. I would like to publish other books and other subjects. Like I said, I do stand-up comedy. I've photographed a lot of well-known comedians like George Lopez, Gabriel Iglesias, Jamie Kennedy, Cristela Alonso, Lonnie Love. So I'd like to do a book on photography. I've gotten the chance to photograph some really cool sporting events, the Fresno State football games. I covered the Kelly Slater Championship, the surf ranch. So I got the chance to photograph like, Kelly Slater and some of the best surfers in the world. So I'd like to do a sports photography book. And no one has ever published a book on comic book conventions, which I find really surprising. But yeah, the whole cosplay culture and stuff like that. And I've been to a lot of good cosplay and conventions here in the area, but I'd like to go to Comic-Con and unleash my camera onto that crowd and, maybe do a book on the Comic-Con culture. So that's one. But as far as right now, I just photographed a DJ. She is the voice of 105.1 The Blaze. Her name is Becca. And I photographed her. I did a photo shoot with her because she is in the running for a contest to be the next cover girl for Inked magazine. It's that tattoo magazine, Inked, like the tattoo show with Dave Navarro. Yeah, she's doing that, and she's currently number one. She's in the running, and she's got a fighting chance, and she's used my photographs, and it's been getting a lot of attention. So I'm trying to vote for her, trying to get my stuff out there for her. And I kind of got that going on right now. So just hopefully when concerts and sporting events get back up, I do that. And then as far as 10 years down the road, my main goal would be to make movies. I mean, that's the reason why I'm doing what it is that I'm doing, is I want them to be stepping stones to a bigger movie making career. So where I am 10 years from now, I'll go to your local theater and hopefully you'll have one of my movie posters on the marquee at Maya Cinema, Sierra Vista Cinema, wherever. I mean, that's the end goal for me. So
Heck
I'm a
yeah.
storyteller.
Yeah, I hope it comes. I think it'll happen. I think you maybe also think, yeah, documentaries would be pretty cool. Even your own podcast sort of thing, where you kind of like a Nardwar sort of interview kind of thing would be pretty dope, because you have all those connections with the bands and stuff. But anybody have any last questions for Steven? I do have one more, but anybody have anything else before I get to my last final question? All right. So yeah, do you want to plug anything, like as far as like the band you're managing, and then or say anything, any last final words, like any plugs or pitches to get people to go out and support you?
Oh yeah. I manage the band The Dying Sons. The Dying Sons. You could check them out on Facebook. Just type that in, The Dying Sons, on Facebook, on Instagram. They're a cross between like 70s rock, a little bit of jazz and funk. So they kind of got like that Led Zeppelin, Queen, Deep Purple sound. I mean, they're and with like a hippie psychedelic element with a little, bit of jazz and funk. So they're pretty cool. We just did a music video. So if you type them in on Facebook, Instagram, on YouTube, you can check out their music there, and they're pretty good. So be sure to check them out. And hopefully once concerts come back, you'll start to see them tour around the Central Valley. There's that. And like I said, just, another reminder, Rock and Roll for Everybody, a photographic tour of today's bands, published by Steven Sanchez and Amherst Media. So far, if you're in the Valley, you could get the books at Ragin Records in Tower District. You could get them at Vintage Me Antique Store, there also in Tower District. And you can also pick up yourself a copy in Clovis, where you could go to the Clovis Book Barn. That is Clovis Book Barn in Old Town. And you can also get it at Cravings, the restaurant Cravings in Clovis. So, I mean, right now it's in those shops, right in those stores and restaurants. And, hopefully, I'm trying to work on getting them into more areas. So, but for right now, if you're ever in the Tower District or in Clovis, you could pick up the books at those establishments. So get yourself a copy. We don't know when concerts are coming back, but if you want a concert in, the comfort of your own home, in your own hands, get this. I mean, there's a wide range of artists. We got Bone Thugs and Harmony. We got Buck Cherry, we got POD, we got Buckethead, Three Doors Down, Collective Soul, A Day to Remember, Drake Bell, The Fever 333, Ghost, Lisa Loeb, Styx.
I
So,
know it might be kind of. I don't know if this is allowed, but are you allowed to show us maybe like one photo of the book?
oh, oh yeah, for sure. I would have to say one of my best images. Let me see. Let me see. I want to pick out like the best one. Let me see. There's Blue October. There's my money shot. Okay, I would have to say it'd be this one, Collective Soul. That one right there, the lead singer. He's throwing a peace sign. Yeah, so I kind of I
Nice.
thought that was one of my best shots. Yeah, so he gave a peace sign to the conclusion of one of his songs. I want to say it was Shine. That was one of their biggest hits, and so like they had this big little encore, and so like he was like, thank you Central Valley, throw his arms up, and so like fireworks and all this other stuff. So that's to me that's one of my best shots from the book. So that's one that I enjoy. So, but there's plenty, man. Get the book, and there's a whole lot, and hopefully you can pick your own favorite. So.
Nice. All right. Well, I really appreciate you coming on. You'll have to convince the Dying Suns to come on sometime, do a live performance if they can, and then just give us some updates on what you got projects going on because I know you got some big things coming up, and if they're not here yet, they will be in the near future. So you're always welcome to come on whenever. Put your information in the chat, or if you want to say it out there to people, again one more time, like go find you on Facebook, and then but just for Erica to kind of stay in touch with you, if you want to put your email in the chat here, if you can, type it in. But yeah, Stephen, any last words?
Oh yeah, you could find me at Steven Sanchez, together as one Steven Sanchez 5807 on Instagram. You'll be able to see all my photography there. That's Instagram Steven with a V Sanchez 5807 on Instagram, and you could find me on Facebook, just regular Steven Sanchez on Facebook. And there you could also on Instagram in my bio you could find my link tree. There you could find access to all the websites I've done stuff for, the articles I've written, and all the interviews that I've done, like on ABC 30, and all the work that I've done for the Dying Suns. So if you want to see what I'm all about, go to my Instagram, look at my link tree, and everything's there. So that's where you can contact me, and then DM me. Like I said, if any of you are in the Valley and want a personalized copy and autograph, let me know, man. So, and then, like I said, go to Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com if you want to buy it online. So it's out there, man. It's out there for the taking.
Awesome. Super glad to have you. It's been an honor speaking with you and all that. I can't wait to see what happens in the near future with you. Put your email in the chat so we can I'll get a hold of you if we need to do that. Hopefully that all happens and we make some connections here. But yeah,
Sure.
Stephen, you're an amazing person. Keep up the good work. I'm glad that you came on. I really hope the best for you in the future. All right,
sure.
so
Thank you.
yeah, no problem, man. So that was a great interview we had right there with Steven. So let's go to our next special guest, Erica from
Hello.
the Tulare County Library.
Yes, hello. Thank you for having me. Just in case like people forgot from the beginning, I'm the digital resource librarian for Tulare County Library, and I do a lot of stuff with adult services and a lot of our virtual outreach for the county. Just in case anyone wants to drop us like a DM or comment on our Facebook, I do check it, so don't be afraid to do that. But I'm really excited to be here, and I'd love to talk about a few of our virtual programs this month and next month. Um, the first one that's going on right now, guys, that you should definitely check out is the Black Voices of Tulare County project. It is Black History Month, but I believe someone said earlier, Black history is history, and we should be talking about it all the time. But this was a chance for us to kind of capitalize on, you know, the public's attention on Black history this month. So we partnered with the Friends of Allensworth group, um, which help raise funds for the Colonel Allensworth State Park. And we are shining a light on Allensworth and the important role they played not only in our local history, but California as a whole. It's the only Black founded town in California, full stop. Which, I mean, I didn't grow up in Tulare County, but I did grow up in Fresno County. And I had never even heard of Allensworth until, I was an adult. And so this project was kind of a chance for me to educate myself and, learn more about our rich local Black history. So we're doing a couple of things to spotlight the park, but also give our users a chance to educate themselves and kind of empower them on their own journey towards decolonizing history and their perception of history. So we're giving away free copies of Allensworth, A Freedom Colony by Alice C. Royal. She actually grew up in Allensworth, and there's a lot of amazing history in here. And we'll be having a book discussion on February 27th with the Friends of Allensworth that's open to the public so other people can participate. And I'm really excited about it. I've started reading the book myself. And we have an online platform where patrons can basically participate in a readathon. We're challenging people to read more stories that fiction and nonfiction alike that talk about the post-Civil War Black experience of America. And if you participate, there is a chance to win a free Kindle Fire, which is pretty cool. And you don't have to participate in the book discussion to participate in the readathon. Everyone's kind of hit the pandemic wall right now, and we're all kind of burnt out from Zoom calls and stuff. So if you can't make it to the book discussion, there's still a way for you to participate. If you want a free copy of Allensworth, A Freedom Colony, all you have to do is call the Visalia branch, our main branch. That's 559-713-2703, and request a copy. You don't need to give us your library card or anything like that, and we'll have it ready for you to pick up in 2 hours. So definitely recommend checking that out. And I'm really excited about this program. We got the funding for it through a company called Zubeen. They're having a bunch of micro grants to encourage libraries and school libraries and other smaller organizations to focus on Black history. And I was really excited when I heard about it, and I'm really looking forward to participating in the discussion and also checking out the state park. We have a lot, there's a lot of options to visit the state park. I know it's COVID right now and we all want to be safe, but you can take a virtual tour, and we've linked it on the uh, our landing page for the virtual readathon that you can access if you go to our link tree at Tulare County Library. Also, it's on our Instagram, Facebook, and on our main website page. So there's a million ways to find it. And we also created a virtual exhibit with our Annie R. Mitchell History Room that you can access anywhere, so that if you're not able to go visit the park yet, you can still learn more about it and kind of experience it at home. But that's kind of it for the Allensworth program. I hope you guys check it out. I'm really excited about it. And the other thing I wanted to talk about was a program we have going on in March. It's another really cool program. Basically, there's loads of grassroots groups in the Tulare County area, like a crazy number, especially focused on getting women engaged in local politics. And I just thought that was really cool. And we partnered with something called Book to Action, where we applied for funds to buy a bunch of books, and then we'll have basically a countywide book club. We'll all read one book together and then engage in a community discussion about it. And the book we're doing is Lead from the Outside by Stacey Abrams. And so we got 90 copies of this to give away for free. And they'll be at all, not all 17. We have one location that won't have it because it's a school, but our 16 other locations will all have copies of this that you can pick up. And we're partnering with some other local grassroots groups to have a workshop with us, and we'll be talking about how women can get engaged in local politics and encourage them to run for local office. In Tulare County, our local political scene, as far as elected officials goes, looks pretty homogenous, and we want to empower our patrons to, have their voice heard. For sure. I'm really excited about it, and I hope you guys check it out. But that's
Wow,
kind of it from me.
that's really cool. Anybody have any questions for Erica?
Okay, so not to sound solely fangirl, but the lead from the outside, are they already distributed to the libraries or are they going to be?
They're going to be currently, they're all in my office,
Okay.
but it starts in March. So, and it will be on our website, our Facebook, our Instagram when you guys can pick up these copies. But I mean, a lot of what we're doing right now is because of COVID, we're literally giving the books away because it's a lot of hassle to get them all back in and sanitize them. So we've been giving away a crazy number of books. So anytime we're doing something big, odds are you get to keep the book. Like in October, we gave away copies of Lovecraft Country. When we had an author visit, oh, this one was so cool. I'm just gonna totally go off topic here, but if you guys haven't read The Only Good Indians, you should. It was really, really good. It's a horror book written by an Indigenous author, and it totally tackles the final girl trope. This is probably my favorite book of 2020, like full stop. But we gave away copies of this that were signed by the author. And we also gave away copies of, okay, well, I don't have this one on my desk, but another book we gave away was by a non-binary author, a YA author. And we gave away tons of those copies. Just if you follow our Facebook, like every other month, we're giving away just free stuff. So if you guys don't follow us on social media, you should, if only to get free stuff. I
For
mean, that's what
sure.
we do. We don't charge for anything. So
Wow. Any other questions? I know Angelica was saying something about following. I don't know if it was the Visalia branch or someone's branch of book clubs, and I know Angelica has a book club that she's going to be talking about. But did you want to say anything about that?
we
Angelica?
have a lot of book clubs, and our Dinuba, Exeter, and Visalia branches have pretty vibrant virtual book clubs. Um, we're not doing it right now, but during, pre-pandemic times, we also check out book club bags that book clubs that don't operate through us can request. But the Visalia book club is on a break right now because we're doing the Allensworth book club and the Stacey Abrams book club this month and next month. But after that, we'll be running again. And the Visalia book club focuses on diverse voices, and we tend to focus on humor, fantasy, and sci-fi, and a bit of horror as well. We kind of change it up. We don't do the same thing every month, but we've done some really cool ones. The next one we're going to do is called Gods of Jade and Shadow, which actually I've got on my desk. I'm just going to plug another book. Sorry, guys. This book is bananas. Gods of Jade and Shadow. If you haven't read it, you should. It's by Silvia Moreno Garcia, and it's a fantasy that takes place in the 1920s in rural Mexico, and it's like a reworking of Cinderella, but also like a trickster narrative. She has to go help a death god get one of his bone shards and his eye back. It's crazy. I don't want to spoil anything. It was a wild ride, though. I seriously recommend it, even if you don't do the book club. But
Writing. Oh, sorry.
yeah, write it down.
Yeah, no, her writing is insane though, and so diverse. Like I read a bunch of them last year, and absolutely loved writing. So that's one that's on my list. Also, that new Mars one that just came out,
Oh,
Meridian, I think it is.
I haven't read that one yet, but I did just get the advanced readers copy for their latest book that's not out yet, and that's what I'm doing this weekend. So
So
really,
exciting, so
I'll
jealous.
let you know how it
Okay.
goes.
Sweet. Is Steven still here? Just curious. If not, it's okay. I just had one quick question to see if he was still. It's all right. Angelica, any other questions for?
Yes, Erica. So the whole idea of bringing in more women, is the group big? Is it fully developed? How long has it been running and getting more women into politics?
Oh, the book to action grant. Okay, so that one will the project hasn't started yet. It kicks off in March, and this is again like this is something the library is committed to doing year round. However, like, when like Women's History Month and Black History Month comes up, um, our patrons are paying more attention to it, and it's easier to just like capitalize on all the excitement that's out there about it. So the program will run through March. But anytime we undertake something like this, our hope is that we create a lasting relationship with the organizations that we work with. So one of the groups we're working with closely for this one is called Women Wise, and it's Visalia based, and they will be running a workshop for us. And one of the things with events like this is that, you know, the like a library slogan is pretty much we don't know all the answers, but we know where to find them. And any programs we do like this, we're usually not creating the content ourselves, but we're using this as an opportunity to give a platform for our community partners and other local organizations. So we'll hire someone else to put on these workshops for us because we may not understand the ins and outs or be experts on it or have the necessary social context required to adequately tackle complex discussions. So it's not something we've started yet, but it is something that the organizations we're partnering with do year round. And we are constantly adding different things to our collections that can be used for programs like this. So for the March event, you can already access the supplemental collection we bought for the Stacey Abrams book discussion and workshop series. We bought something like 11 new ebooks and audiobooks that you guys can access to kind of further your own exploration of the topic outside of the book club that we're hosting. So I think some of the books I bought, just off the top of my head, I don't have a list in front of me, are Represent, A Woman's Guide to Running for Office. And that one has a really cool cheat sheet for ways to disrupt when someone is like not having a productive conversation about your experience, and also ways to start productive conversations. We also got some books. I think one was called Say It Now, which focuses on empowering specifically Black women in having productive conversations with uh, people who may not understand their experiences and why they would like to engage in change. Um, but so those are things you can access all the time, and they're on our Overdrive right now, and it's under Just Added. So if you have Libby or Overdrive, you can check them out and get those copies now. But like I said, the Stacey Abrams book will be available in the beginning of March, and you'll see it on our social media when you can pick it up.
Wow, a lot of cool things going on. Super glad that you're providing this service to the community and all the work you do, Erica. Thank you so much for what you do. Natalie, Angela, any questions? Steven, are you there? Any questions for Erica before we let her go? And Steven, I did have a question for you. Now that I see that you're here. But any questions, real quick, for Erica? Anyone off the top of your head? Natalie, looks like you have something to say. No. Okay. Steven, you're on mute. You're on mute, Steven. unmute
Oh, sorry, my bad.
and
Okay. Actually, I did have a question for Erica. I appreciate everything that you're doing. You know, it takes a lot of work to be involved and do what it is that you do. I'm very happy and proud that you're getting the chance to do what you're doing and stuff like that, though. But I see that with a lot of the stuff that you're involved in, it's very political and stuff like that. Like you said, obviously, I understand right now it's February, Black History Month, but I hear like you said, you know, trying to encourage young girls to get involved with politics, and some of this other stuff has a political angle. Where did you feel like you being involved with the library system, did you feel that to mesh the two, which is politics and the literary world, where did that come into place? And was it kind of scary trying to make the library be involved with politics, or has it kind of been a smooth process since you're trying to get more people and more women involved and get more diverse voices involved?
Well, I mean, that sounds scary, like pushing the library in that direction. Actually, we put on these programs because patrons ask for them or they express an interest in it.
Mhm.
So I don't necessarily like pick what direction we're going to go in. The library is really dedicated to asking our community what they want and what kind of services we need to offer more of. And so we're dedicated to giving our patrons a voice and opportunity to explore areas of interest that they have. So not all of our programs are necessarily this like I guess I wouldn't say politically charged, but are this have this much to do with advocacy. Like for our one of our winter reading programs was we have a lot of Hallmark fans, so we actually had a Hallmark author come and do a Q&A about one of their books. But the reason why we do programs like this is because our patrons ask about them. One of the reasons why we had a non-binary author as part of our book festival, as well as an Indigenous author as part of this year's book festival, not only because they're great horror writers and it was a spooky themed book festival this year, but because our patrons want to see themselves represented in the programs we're offering, and we're committed to hearing them out and making sure that our services look like our community. And so that's why we offer those programs. And if you guys ever see something that like a gap in our services, or you don't feel that your library represents you, there's a lot of ways to get in touch with us. You can message us on Facebook, DM us on Instagram. You can call us. You can email us at questions@tulare-county-library.org. And we want to make sure that not only do our services reflect our county, but our library collections do as well. So we're always looking to fill gaps in our library collection and our services. So that's why it looks like that, I guess.
Awesome. That's great work.
yeah, super glad it's happening. This is a question for Stephen and Erica, sort of. Stephen, real quick. Um, for people that are kind of interested in writing or trying to get published, because I know Angelica is a writer and Natalie is a poet, so if they wanted to get published and stuff like that, what's your advice for them? And same, and then Erica, same question for you after Stephen says answers that.
I would say, if you're looking to get published, try to find publishers that that could publish your work. So obviously, like you said, one of you write, the other one is a poet. Whatever it is that you write, try to find a publisher that specializes in that genre. If someone publishes poetry, find someone who specializes in publishing that works, and not only just getting your stuff out there in terms of maybe a book, but also a compilation book, or also there's writing contests. There's also ways in which to get your stuff short story format. So there's so many magazines and so many publications that are offering money in which to offer writing for the I mean sending out compensation for the writing work that you do. So there's so many different outlets out there that you guys could look forward to in which to get your guys' work out there. So, like I said, find a publisher who specializes in what you do, find writing contests, and I'm pretty sure you could Google it. Just type in the heck, who specializes in publishing or distributing magazines, newspapers, that stuff. That helps. And also So whatever it is that your genre is, stick to your bread and butter. So like that, if it's poetry, if it's horror writing, if it's like what Erica was saying, like Hallmark, romantic, whatever. Whatever your genre is, sink or swim on that. Stick to that. I mean, you could expand, but whatever it is that you're passionate about, write what it is that you love, that you can relate to, and what you're passionate for. Because you could try to write for the money and everything else, though, but in the end, what sells you best is what you know. So if you're into writing horror and you like, scary movies, stuff like that, uh, stick to that. If you're all for poetry and being artistic and that's where you think you thrive the best, that's where you're going to get the most attention. And I think that's why my book kind of got the attention that it did. Is really the way how I got published was very unconventional. That's not the easiest way, because like I said, a lot of people in my line of work, they it takes them to like their 40s and their 50s to collect that amount of work to publish a book. But I already had a lifetime of work in the matter of 2 years. So my path was not everybody else's. So mine is very unconventional, not a lot of people can follow that. But what I think got my attention is because you can see the passion in my work, you can see the passion in my photographs. So in this regard, because a photograph book is different than a prose narrative book, so in this regard, you have to show passion within your words. And I think whatever you love writing about, I think that's what's going to sell your work. So in the end, sell yourself, sell your work, and your work will be shown. I mean, your personality will be shown through your work. So
Heck yeah. Cool. Yeah, Erica, do you have anything to chime in on that? I know you offer workshops. I went to one at the book festival that you do. And if you want to talk about that as well, on top
Oh,
of the question about.
sure. Well, the first thing I would recommend is, get in touch with your local libraries. We are happy to purchase books from local authors, and that's a good way to get your book out there. If someone likes your book and they got it from the library, they'll go buy it. We may only buy 20 copies, but it may circulate 5,000 times. The other thing is, we're always, not just us, but other local systems are always looking for local talent to promote. And when you do a workshop or an author event, we pay you. So, it is a good way to get some income off of your work. And it's another way to cross promote your work, because even if you do a workshop, you are welcome to plug any books that you have or other services that you offer. And just like another recommendation is, if you're trying to get something published, try PitMad on Twitter. It's like an open call and anyone can submit like a query. It's really cool, and thousands of people get published like that. But our book festival is a great way to engage with your community and promote your work. We've had 3 book festivals so far, and we're going to have a 4th. And this last one was kind of weird because we had a pandemic. We had a spooky theme festival that was really fun, and I had a lot of fun working on it. We're always looking for new people to promote and push for future festivals. And in previous festivals, authors have had um, they've had booths where you can give away signed copies. We'll purchase books of your copies. Copies of your books to sell as well, and you can like sign them. And we offer workshops, but we have workshops year round, poetry workshops, writing workshops, and we're always looking for people to run the workshops. And that's something that continues even when we're virtual. So, and we are still paying people for that. So call your local library. It doesn't have to be us. Fresno's doing the same thing. Kern County's doing the same thing. Merced, Madera, they're all looking for virtual programs and experts to lead them.
You hear that, Angelica? You hear that, Natalie? You can be published pretty easily. I know.
No, I'm
I know
totally
you can do
excited.
it.
Yeah.
What?
I said I'm totally excited. Yeah.
Yay! Awesome. Yeah, it'd be cool. We need more published poets and authors around here. So definitely look into it. And yeah, even me, like, I went to a poetry workshop run by the Loudmouth Poetry Slam people. They were in collaboration with a few others programs and whatnot. But yeah, so Erica, anything coming up as far as like for people like on how to write poetry, on how to write or how to get published, in any of those coming up, or
So we don't
waiting?
have anything coming up immediately. However, keep your eyes peeled for April. We typically do some poetry programs then. I just don't have anything where I can plug a specific date yet, but keep your eyes peeled. Follow us on social media. And also, if you feel like we don't do enough poetry programming, like I said, message us. We want to hear what you guys want to do, and we want our programs to reflect our community needs and wants. So, 100%, don't be afraid to reach out to us. Or if you'd like to run your own, email me, DM us. We're always looking for people to do workshops.
So, Erica, do you have a favorite author, or do you write at all, or do you have any ambitions to do anything?
Favorite author? How can you ask me that? No, that's a really tough question. I obviously read a lot. I am not a writer myself, though. I do have friends who are, and if they had a book out, I would promote it right now. But no, gosh, the book I mentioned, The Only Good Indians, I seriously recommend people read that. Like, I don't know.
What got you into reading and stuff like that?
My library actually growing up. I lived in a really small town and my library was my whole world. So honestly, a small town library. I grew up in Sanger and the Sanger library was like the only place you could really go in town then anyway. But I just love reading. I really
As a
do.
young adult or growing up, any authors that kind of struck a chord with you?
Yeah, I really like Philip K. Dick for sci-fi. Actually, a good sci-fi author I've been reading lately is N.K. Jemisin. They're really great. Um, I grew up really liking Terry Pratchett. Um, I really like Alyssa Cole right now. If you're into thrillers, she's got When No One Is Watching. That one's really great, and she also does some really great romance as well. I don't know. I like a lot of different books, and it's really hard for me to
All
like
right,
pick
who's
anyone.
better, William Shakespeare, uh, J.R.R. Tolkien, or Emily Dickinson?
Oh gosh. Well, okay, I'm a big Shakespeare fan. I think that Bill's hilarious. So I'd probably go with Shakespeare, but Dickinson is a close second. Obviously, I grew up reading Harry Potter, but I definitely say Will Shakespeare or Dickinson comes first. So um,
But you were saying earlier, sci-fi. You like sci-fi a little bit more than like the classics and stuff like that.
I really like Shakespeare though. But yeah, probably sci-fi. Sci-fi, fantasy. I really like comedy as well. I mean that like right now when you're stuck at home, sci-fi is great because you can just, go off somewhere else. I've been reading a lot of Anna Geary, which she has some great sci-fi. Um, like I said, N.K. Jemisin's great. But yes, sci-fi is the flavor of the moment, but it changes.
Nice, cool. Well, any last questions before we let Erica get along with her day? Anybody? Anybody? Going once? Nothing. Okay. Well, Erica, you're an amazing person. Thank you for coming on, and you're always welcome to come back. We'll definitely promote whatever you got coming out. I'll
Awesome.
let people know what's going on, and yeah, looking forward to. I'll probably be in touch with you. I'll email you about some ideas I have and whatnot for the foundation. I don't know. Did you want to briefly chat about the foundation?
Oh, well, super quickly, the foundation is the nonprofit that helps us get more funding. Obviously, a library has, limited funds. And one of the ways we generate more funds is through grants, like the two programs I just mentioned, those are grant funded. And then our foundation helps go out into our community and raise funds for us. And they also take manage our grant funding as well. So basically, the foundation is what helps the library run, and they're a huge support to all of our programs, summer reading, winter reading, also our Friends of the Library, they're great. But the foundation, it's kind of like the big guns that go out and talk us up and help get us funding. So any support to the foundation supports your local library in Tulare County. So definitely always want to give them a thanks and share any of their stuff.
And do they have like a website to donate to or something?
There's a donation link on our website. If you go to TulareCountyLibrary.org and you scroll to the bottom, there's a Foundation of the Library link. And if you click on that, there is a donate button that you can donate to online. So definitely check that out. And the foundation also helps us run smaller fundraisers like we had with our book festival, where we sold limited edition t-shirts. Those were really fun. So they help, they're pretty dynamic and they help us with a lot of different things. But definitely, if you'd like to support the library, go to our website, go to the foundation page and donate if you can. If not, just check out library books, like us on Facebook. There's a lot of ways to support us.
Definitely. All right. Anybody before Erica leaves, please speak up now or forever hold your peace. Stephen?
Yeah. Hold on. Yeah. Well, Erica, I'd like to get in contact with you and talk about ways that I could get involved like that. Like you said, doing some of the seminars, doing some of the spotlights on authors. I'd like to be a part of that. And then, yeah, I'd like to email you and talk to you more about the ways for the Central Valley libraries to get copies of my books and everything else. So like you said, got to get your stuff out there and got to find a way to get income somehow. So I'm glad I met you. I'm glad I found you. And the fact that you're giving letting people hear diverse voices. Like I said, not too many concert Hispanic photographers out there. So to get that love from the Central Valley, and if you could help me out with that, I like to do whatever I can in return. So I'm glad I ran into you. Glad I got to meet you.
No problem. I did put my email in the chat, so you can find it there. Your email is on there too, so I snagged that. But definitely, it was great to meet everyone. Thank you for having me. And go follow the library on Facebook.
Sure.
All
yes.
right.
Yes, everybody. And then April is real quick. April is the
yeah, we'll be doing more poetry programming around April, and then of course our summer season is pretty busy for doing programs as well. So for summer reading, I'm still looking at creating the adult programs, and that would be a great vehicle for more writing workshops and stuff like that. And of course, our book festival, we do loads of workshops for that. Right now, we're looking at doing another virtual festival. The virtual book festival runs in October. So, but we start planning it quite early on. So definitely you guys have my email, and we're always looking for local voices to shine a light on. So definitely shoot me an email with contact info and we can start a conversation.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. Feel free to stick around for Angelica's portion of the podcast, but if not, I understand. Same with you, Stephen. If you have to get going, totally feel free to take off and do whatever. But yeah, both of you, thank you so much for interviewing and for all that you do in the community. Angelica, tell us everything about your whole life story, except for just condense it a little bit.
Okay. So I love education and learning. So I have just been a lifetime learner from an early age. I totally relate to Erica's story about her library. I grew up in Porterville and I lived out in the country, so I didn't really have a lot of people around me. So the library was a perfect place. These tall mahogany bookshelves that were like, they create this beautiful little cave, and I just sort of get in there and stack my books and eat snacks, which I wasn't supposed to, but I'd eat snacks and read books for hours. They'd pick me up when it closed. Pretty much. So I love my library, and now I'm in the city of Tulare. So I've hit up now the city of Tulare library, which is very different from my portable library in the way that it's sort of modern. But I did find a home there and some really awesome people there.
Isn't there kind of a tragic story with the Porterville Library?
Yeah, it burned down this last year.
That's the one you were talking
firemen
about?
lost their lives. Yeah, that was my home library. Vicky
Yeah.
Cervantes I still remember meeting her when I was a kid. Like I came up to her waist when I first met her, and her hair was longer than her waist. And she was just the most awesome person, super sweet, super caring. And it's funny because when I met her, she was just a librarian. Now she's the head of the library, and she has, I think, a master's in library science like that.
Are
And she's
they
really active into.
are they rebuilding the Porterville Library, or what's the
They
plan?
are, and it's funny because before the library burned down, they were already planning on revamping the library. But after it burned down, now the plans are getting pushed a little bit further down the line. So I'm really excited to see the new one. The plans have already been out. Oh, so excited.
And so you're involved with the Tulare, some book clubs over there or something, you said, virtual ones?
So yeah, so this last year, let's put it this way: my whole life I've been working for different things. Like I was a tutor in the college when I was there. I worked for Parks and Rec. I ran a nonprofit for at-risk youth. I was a U.S. Forestry Service hot loader for the planes that came in for the Forestry Service for fires. I was a teacher, a reading specialist. I worked at Starbucks. I was a sales manager and training for Solar City. I was instructional designer for Tesla. I was an ethnographer for Smart Revenue, working contracts for Fresh and Easy, if you guys remember that chain way back when. So I really like to learn and like to engage in the community.
And you were also involved with the Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, yeah. So in 2016, I wasn't as involved. I was just really busy working a lot. But this last year, I just found a little bit more time, and I was on a sort of mission. I had really intensive knee construction surgery, which left me on crutches for like 8 months and unable to do a lot of things. So I ended up picking up a lot of reading and going to a support group up in Fresno. And that support group is now what I host every week online. It's for me, it really helped change my life and gave me a lot of introspection.
How do people find out about the support group?
So originally we had it on, what was that app? There was an app for it, but we closed it up just because no one ever followed up. Like there was, I think at some point, almost 1,000 people following, and the group was maybe 10 people. It was connected to this non-denominational church that did other kind of things going on, but I never got involved in any of that stuff. I really went in just to have a chance to share my experiences and sort of um, feel a community with the same experiences. And it was crazy because people like had very different lives, but somehow if you distill it down, their feelings, you had this empathy and compassion and connection with these people, and were able to sort of go through your own things as well with them. So I've tried to keep that going currently. And yeah, if you're
You have a
interested,
Facebook? There's a Facebook group?
no, on that one, I just whenever I meet somebody and I'm like, hey, so if you want to come talk, uh, we invite people in, but it's nothing official. It's nothing.
So yeah, how do they get a hold of you?
So you can find me on Facebook, Justin. We're friends on there. So if you're interested, yeah, just go ahead and send me a DM, and I will definitely connect you with that.
And so tell everyone first and last name because it only says Angel V on there.
Oh, Angelica Velasquez. So and I could probably just change my name right now too. Yeah, I used to actually teach classes of 175 people, like on the East Coast for Tesla, going through on Zoom. So I found it was Zoom.
Nice. And so yeah, Erica, I was just hoping if you can put some stuff in the chat so I can put on the comments so people can kind of get a hold of you as well.
Most
Yeah.
definitely.
And then yeah, Angelica has the support group and that's separate than the book club.
Yes, the book club is just something, again, this year, I really wanted to create a community. I want to share ideas and have conversations with people and education. So I started this book club, and it pretty much covers cultural, political, psychological, science kind of conversation. And the last book we did was Come As You Are, about sexuality and femininity and feminism and the science of sex. I really recommend it to pretty much anyone who's a woman and any men that want to understand women. That I think it would be super helpful. I think it's really a great book. So that was our holiday book. We did December half of the book, and then January was the other half. This month we're doing I'm sorry. Begin Again by James Baldwin, America, and Urgent Lessons for Our Own by Eddie Gould Jr. Just because it is Black History Month, I wanted to bring that in. It was a newer book that was suggested by some of the members, and so I put it in. But this last year, I've read so much. I've read the new James Crow. I've read a bunch of the books from, what's his name? I'm sorry. I'm really bad with names and short-term information, but all the ones on, I can't believe I'm totally drawing a blank. But yeah, so I really like Black history and I've really started going into it. So we are sharing a few of those books in the following months. Begin Again with James Baldwin is just one of the first ones that we're doing for the year. In the following one will be The People's History of the United States. And I really want to do Sapiens with people as well. So that'll probably be the one in the following month.
And they just get a hold of you just through Facebook, Angelica.
Yeah. Oh, well, for our book club, first, I do have a Facebook account for the book club. I also have an account for the community in Goodreads. If you're not a member of Goodreads and love to read, that's where you should probably start going. I do run a group there, and it's a great place to put your books, share what you think about those books. Anyway, I'm a huge fan, and yeah, I have one.
What are those Facebooks? What are those Facebooks, and can you put them in the chat so I can put them in the comments? But tell people right now what those, how to get a hold of you on those Facebook pages or whatever.
So the Goodreads and the Facebook account is by it's called the Sisu Book Club. Sisu being a word, it's a Nordic word, I believe. It's been a while since again I've gone through this. Yeah, so it's a Sisu Book Club, and we do books once a month. I have to look it up.
And then there was the other Facebook.
And then, I'm sorry, what was the other one?
Well, you said there's two different Facebooks, one for the book club and then one for the Goodreads. Or am I getting that wrong?
No, Goodreads isn't a whole other thing. Like it's an account where you can go. It's a page. It's a website that you can go and create an account for just listing your books, and that's where you can put a challenge for a year, like how many books you want to read. So ever since I started the account, I've read at least 100 books a year.
Nice.
It's just one of those things that you can share again your books, and it's been super helpful because I'd always like to go back and recommend a book, but I could never remember the title of a book. As you can see, I'm so just on top of remembering book titles and authors.
But then for the 28th, you said that had a Facebook page?
Yes, so that one is the Sisu Book Club, and that one's on Facebook, yes.
Okay, put that in the chat, and then I'll put that in the comments, and all that. But yeah, anybody have any questions? Looks like we got Steven, Natalie, and Angelica talking right now, but Erica's still here. Any questions?
Yeah, how do you pick books for your book club? Because I gotta say that's something I struggle with a lot.
Pretty much, I tried to pick a book that I've read, just because I like this next one, this James Baldwin one. I'm very excited about it, but I'm actually very, very nervous about it because I have not read it before I sort of dove in. So the book that it's exciting, that's coming up, that I'm researching. Also, I try to do the Goodreads and different reviews to make sure that it does hold a certain level of mass appeal. So I try to go with those two. And then if it's on paperback, I really try to go for the paperback books for the book clubs, just because I don't want somebody to incur the expense of a hardback. Love checking them out at the library if there is enough. Which, by the way, I thought I'd plug. My Tulare library is also doing the book club books. I have just asked for them to add the Scorpio races as a book club book, so we might be doing that one. And what's it called? Maggie Steve Otter is just awesome. I did a writing workshop with her a couple years ago, and it was when she first had published another book, which I cannot remember the title of. However, it was extremely awesome. And yeah, so I get super excited and completely forget what I'm saying. So now I'm just really, yeah.
Any other questions? Stephen, Natalie, Erica?
Well, okay, I don't want to monopolize the conversation, but so when you have a book discussion, like do you do a more structured type of discussion, or is it kind of like everyone's just sharing their experience? Like what's the vibe?
So I've done both. I've done the really researched, like I write down a bunch of quotes and I ask people how they feel about those quotes. That one seems to be a little overwhelming. So I have created a list. There's a couple different articles I pulled up that gave general questions, some of them for nonfiction, some of them for fiction. And I've integrated those as norm in two of my book clubs. Um, I only have the Facebook account for that one. But anyway, yes, the questions I try to go for things that can be applicable to a bunch of the different books, like people's favorite quotes, people's things that they reread, things they didn't disagree with or that they disagreed with, things like that. And then the discussion usually flows pretty well. So it's gone from more than an hour, most times, usually an hour and a half. And the groups are small, but super lively as far as that goes.
It's cool. And like one more question. I'm assuming you guys are meeting virtually at the
Yes.
moment. How have you guys handled the transition from like face to face to a virtual platform? Because I know some people after work they're like burnt out from Zoom already. Like how have you guys handled that?
So I started my Zoom club for my political things and everything else online initially. It was brought about with one of my friends. My friend started a YA book club, and she was bringing people from the East Coast and different parts of California. And so the in-person meeting wasn't available. And I similarly have a lot of friends from different areas, so I wanted to do something that makes it accessible. Similarly, I run the Fresno one now that used to be associated with the Barnes and Noble out there. That club used to be a big group of women, like 20. And now we're down to about 7 to 10 on Zoom. And the meetings are the same in a lot of the discussion ways. We do miss the in-person connection and the coffee coupons to go get stuff at the cafe and the free samples that our person would bring in and stuff like that. So that part, we have lost it. And so we bring our own tea to our meetings and things like that. But it is a transition and it is different, but I do feel that we can still connect, especially if we're willing to be vulnerable and really sort of explain those connections that we're finding in our literature and with each other during the group meeting. So I think it works still in its own way.
Sweet. Yeah, well, you're very involved with the books, and I think that's really cool. And I'm definitely interested in joining the club and whatnot, and learning more. And yeah, everyone on here has been really awesome. Steven, did you have anything to chime in? Natalie, I see Natalie kind of looking. Steven, anyone want to say
Uh,
anything?
uh,
Angelica?
I mean, I guess mine is like a basic question. I mean, it's not like too serious though. But obviously, like, what got you into literature? I think we all have our starting inspiration of what got us into whatever it is that we're into. So I always kind of wonder that, like, with you, what made you think, yeah, writing is what I want to do. That's the world I want to be involved in. What really kickstarted that interest for you?
Mm. Well, my aspiration is not to be a writer. Currently, I actually don't know what my aspiration is.
Yeah,
Before,
I thought you said you were working on a book.
no,
Are you-
I'm working on reading books, tons of books,
I thought
but
you
I'm
said
not right. I'm
I
not
entertaining.
can
right.
too.
Yeah.
I can make books and I can read books all day long, man. So I mean, yeah, I mean, we
Yeah.
got that.
But someday you said, Angelica, maybe you would possibly write something.
My dad has engaged me to be his ghostwriter. He lived, he's 89 and he has lived a lot. So, if I do write something, it'll probably be that first.
What does he
But,
write?
pardon?
What does he write?
Oh, he doesn't write. A ghostwriter is like for a biography. So it would be his
Oh,
life.
you want to write about his life? Oh, they meant
Yeah,
ghostwriting, meaning that he writes though, but he wants you to get the credit for it or something like that. I know that's one way to do it, or that someone takes up the mantle, takes on the writing duties for somebody else's work. So I thought like he was writing, but he wanted you to like take up the mantle or something.
No, he wants me to write his book for him. So he's given me notes and given me short stories, and I have to put it all together, which I find extremely, I think, distressing to a certain level, because there's a lot of emotion there, and there's a lot of really traumatic experience. Because I'm sure you guys all know, like, the being Black or brown in the Valley hasn't been the most friendly thing to do. Like,
Yeah.
89, he's all like, I still remember when there were signs on doors that said no Mexicans and no dogs allowed. Like, that kind of stuff was normal. So he wants to share that kind of experience and, make sure that it's not wiped from people's minds. So at any rate, yeah, but what was your question? I'm sorry.
What was? Yeah.
As far as yeah, no, I remember now. So as far as literature goes, it's just the fact that I was super isolated. I lived out in the country, in Strathmore, of all places, too. So I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with Strathmore. It's got like one stoplight. And so the library was a home to me because of the fact that there was so many stories and so many things to connect to. And I was always curious. So that's where my love of books and learning always came from. Yeah.
Well, that's cool, man. That's great to hear.
Yeah. But my passion is, I guess, political stuff and community. My degree and I got a bachelor's degree in political science from Davis, and I worked at Smithsonian in Washington, D.C. I also did some research in the Library of Congress. And so, and then recently, I guess that's what Justin was asking about the Bernie stuff. In the last election, I ran and about 300 doors a day. And got people interested in voting and registered to vote and things like that. So I just believe in making the community a better place however we can. And so during the pandemic, my community, I guess, has been, again, the book clubs, trying to get people, information, and also gardening. I started gardening my front yard and my backyard, not only with flowers, but food. And so I've given out a bunch of it to my neighbors and my family and things like that. So providing for yourself and for the community, regardless of political affiliation, I think is important, because we want to connect on more than just one level.
Yeah. That's cool. I hope so. You make something out of your political career, man. I mean, that's if you do choose to go down that route. Yeah,
maybe someday. I'm excited to see Erica's information and stuff like that, because I what is it? I think it was Socrates that said that people that are interested in politics should not be politicians. But I think it's not, my drive towards politics isn't the fact that I want to be in power. I want to make a better difference for the people that I see suffering. That's my drive. And however we can make our world a better place, I think is worth the time and effort. And maybe that doesn't have a title. Maybe that doesn't have like CEO or, whatever, but I think that's important nonetheless. And I think anybody can do it anytime, 15 minutes a day. Like, you don't have to have a title. So anyway, I'll get off my soapbox.
You're like you're into philosophy and all kinds of stuff. Like, but your degree was in like social sciences, or?
So my AA, I got in social science. I actually have 200 units at Porto College. I took every class I think there was available in the social science department. And after a while, the teachers are like, you have to go. Like, you have. And so I applied to a bunch of them and got into Davis. So UC Davis is amazing. It actually has the largest collection of ethnography in the Western United States. And yeah, their collection of history and everything else was amazing. I did disability history. I did ethnic and Middle East history. It was a chance to engage with people who wrote the books, which was mind blowing. Like meeting you, Stephen, and like, I'd like to sit down and like go through the book with you, just because you would have so much more than even is written in the book. And so that was how I felt about college at Davis, which was reading the books that people actually wrote themselves, and then also giving you all the extra information that wasn't in the text. So.
Well, yeah, for sure. Well, do that to me. Well, for sure. I mean, do that. Also, Jacqueline, put your information down in the chat area. Give me your email and everything, social media. I'd love to hit you up and see ways that I could get my book involved in the book club to talk about, and maybe meet up with your book club as well. I mean, I'm down for some interaction and talking literature. It's been a while since I've done that. So yeah, give me your information. Yeah, I'd like to get involved with it, whatever which way I can.
Okay. And I'll definitely hook you up with the Tulare Library too. They're very
Awesome.
cool. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Sweet. All right. Anybody else? Natalie, I know you're playing with the dog, so that's you're kind of busy playing with the dog and everything. But if you have any questions for Angelica or Steven, or if you want to just say anything, plug anything, any project, or or anything like that, feel free feel free to do that now. But the dog looks like it's a very hyper animal. And seems interesting to be around because has more energy than I'll ever have.
Yeah, Rigby. He's a Jack Russell Terrier mix. He's gonna be a year in April. I have COVID right now, so that's what I got going on with me.
Sorry to hear.
I'm currently just working on music. I'm a freestyle artist. So anything I make is usually with 3 chords, and then I usually make this music from the top of my head.
I don't know if are you able to play or sing, or is that hurting? Does that hurt the vocal cords?
I mean, I could try. It would just won't sound as good as it usually does, I guess.
All right. Well, think about it. Get set up. If you want to maybe just do some instrumental or something. But any questions for Angelica anyone have any questions for Angelica or Steven before they may have to go? If not, both of you are free to. You're free now. You're able to take off. We had Erica had a bounce and whatnot, and but yeah, this was a super great podcast. One of the best we've had with. It kind of all worked out. I didn't expect, at first it was just Steven, and then I invited Angelica, and then the library was going to come on, at another day, but I was like, can you come on today, please? Because I think it'll go better than the day that you're planning on coming. And so it seemed like to work out pretty well. And I'm super glad that, it all kind of came together and kept the conversation going, and everyone had kind of similar interests and whatnot. But yeah, that was a super cool chance to meet some of you. Steven, you're an awesome person. I'm stoked to see what you got coming in the future. Angelica, we got a lot of plans. Get the book club going strong, and some other stuff, and I'm looking forward to you, Angelica, as well, in your future, in the realm of politics and writing, and hopefully that you get something writing, even if it is a ghostwriter, and get something written. But yeah, Natalie, or does anybody have anything to say before they might have to go, before Natalie starts playing some music?
No, thank you. Well, thank you for having me. I'm glad I got to meet Angelica, Erica, and everybody, and thank you for giving me a platform to which to talk about my book. And then hopefully, yeah, I'll talk to the band, see if they could come on the show or whatnot, talk about music, maybe hopefully play. Hopefully it all works out. But then, like I said, just again, thank you for having me. It was great meeting everybody, and hopefully everybody gets through this. Sorry to hear about you having COVID. Hope you're better, and hopefully everybody could, recover so we could get back to doing what we do, read, book clubs, concerts, all that stuff, going back to the way how things were. So hopefully things get better. But thank you for having me.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for coming, man. Good to meet you. And yeah, let me know. No rush on the Diane Sons and all that coming, because I know they're busy. But yeah, whenever you're more than welcome to come on anytime, and everything. But thank you again for being here, and everything. Angelica, are you sticking around, or sticking around for music at all?
Natalie, are you thinking about doing it, or are you not feeling so
well? Yeah, I think I can get something out real quick.
Don't strain yourself too much.
I might just because it's like, I don't know, my breathing's a little weird. But I'll
do more instrumentals and then some vocals here and there, do space it out so you give yourself your chords a rest and stuff.
Okay, I'll do something short. Let me see. such long strides just to feel the earth together. And sometimes I'll wake up before the sun just to feel the rays on my face. Ooh, 'cause everybody tells me I'm strange when I'm walking, not in the same place. I like being me, doing the things I enjoy. I like being me, and it's such a joy. I like waking up early and feeling the sun, and when it's all done, and when the sun goes down, I'll chase it around, 'cause that's my idea of fun. Of fun. Mama said you are my wild child with such curly hair. I would drag you around for miles just to watch you play everywhere. And you would tell me all the names of each animal, and I wouldn't even care. You're my wild child with curly hair, and that's just me. I like to be, and I like to do whatever I like to, 'cause I am a wild child with curly hair, curly. Sometimes I wait before the sun just to feel the rays on my face. Thank you.
Wow. I cannot believe, even being sick, you sound that good. Like, you could have denied. You could have said, "I don't. I'm sick. I don't want to play. Why are you making me play?"
That was beautiful, Natalie.
Thank you. I'm just sticking to like the lower notes in my vocal cords, because if I sing any higher than that, it's like I'll start coughing.
Yeah. Dang, I'm stoked that you pulled that off, and like, being sick and everything, and yeah, like it sounded amazing, even though you're doing the different lower register, but like it sounds really cool. Where's Steven? You're Steven.
He's currently at work right now. Um, he has work right now, even though like I have COVID, because he tested negative, but I tested positive. So
Hmm. Very interesting. Very interesting.
yeah.
Well, yeah. Hopefully you recover very soon, so we can hear you in your full force and whatnot. Angelica, do you have any podcast questions for Natalie?
Have you recorded before? Are you thinking about recording? Like,
It's an option. I mean, an option. It's a thought that's crossed my mind a lot. I mean, I write a lot of. Well, I don't write them down. I'll sing them on here, and then Justin will record like these sessions. So like I'll go back to them later and I'll write them down, and then But yeah, most of these are just off the top of my head. Sometimes like you can tell they're not really pieced together, and then like sometimes like I'll be singing the song and like be getting to what I feel will be a chorus, and then I'll get what I said in the last chorus. So then I'll be like, well, time to roundabout to something else, or the last few phrases I remembered. back
That's,
in the song.
that's awesome. So it's all very creative, almost jazz like just
Yeah,
improvisation. Yeah, that's
this is
awesome.
exactly what that's what Steven says. It's sort of kind of like jazz because like it's a little everywhere. He's like, but he's like, and that's you're saying a lot of stuff there. He's like, so it's good that this is recorded because then
Yeah.
we write it down.
Well, do you want to get some rest? Do you want to play with the dog? Do you want to do a tune? I don't want to push you to do anything that you don't want to do. And huh?
Um, I'm probably gonna go take a nap.
Yeah, yeah, that'd probably be best. Thank you so much for being here and coming on and doing that. That was definitely that was really cool. And yeah, stoked we got that recorded and because I like that one. That's catchy. But yeah, take a nap with the dog, and get that dog to calm down a little bit.
I'll try.
Does he
Uh,
sleep?
Good night, guy, or good afternoon.
Good afternoon. All
Have
right,
a good bye.
peace. All right, Angelica, you're the last one standing.
Yeah, just want to say thanks. Awesome time. I hope this went well.
This
So
did go very well, and it helped that you were here. You definitely added a lot of stuff that we definitely needed because you know with your background and everything, you're always more than welcome to come on again. Talk about whatever you want. Talk about the slate. Talk about Bernie. Talk about anything. Talk about your future. Talk about your past. We could do another one. You know, where we actually go into your whole life story in detail. Like you kind of like we went over a little bit of it, but you can talk about the nitty gritty or whatever part of it you want to talk about or not. And yeah, look forward. So when's the next meetings that you have coming up?
so we have some meetings on the 28th. I think I have another one coming up if you're interested. I'll have to like send you all the links and then you can post them for me. But
Yeah,
yeah, we have all kinds of stuff coming up.
sweet. Yeah, stoked for those. And then as far as like the Tulare Democratic Club, when are they meeting again?
We have a meeting on Monday at 9 o'clock, working on the media stuff. So if you're interested in working on the Facebook stuff, we're going to be meeting then, and other media options, just to get the community going. And then I think there's another larger meeting later on in the month. I'm not quite sure the date and time on that one.
All right. Yeah. Let me see. He said. What? It's a. What date is
The next meeting we have is the 15th
the
at 9 o'clock. Yeah.
15th, 9 in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm putting that in right now just so I don't forget because I knew that was coming up, but I knew that was like a weird time that I'm never awake at that time hardly, and all that. But no, yeah, it's super good to have you. Um, so being live isn't that bad, is it? You were kind of scared, but now we're still live. But
We're still live. I think we should probably get offline, but yes, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And um, I didn't lose all my train of thought, just about half of them. So
no,
I'm
we
happy with that.
it's cool. No, everything we covered everything. Hopefully, we informed everybody of everything, and yeah, looking forward to talking to you soon. So you have a good rest of your day, and I'll probably hit you up, email or text or something. I do need to type in for the club, like the values and all that stuff, so that we can get um, the Google form, get the Google form sent out. All right, Angelica, peace. Have a good one. good podcast. Let me take that back. That was a great podcast. We had the Tulare County Library and Stephen Sanchez, author extraordinaire, and Angelica Vasquez. Join our book club. She's got a book club. I'll be joining it. So I actually read books. 'Cause if I'm not in a book club, I'll probably not read books as much. And she reads 100 books a year. But maybe she's being a little modest. She probably opens about 1,000 books a year. And that's pretty cool if you ask me. She's involved in political clubs, like the Tulare Democratic Club. I've got to write a song or two today, and then I'll be releasing a music video for it with Foxy Jeff from Get Foxy Productions. I just gotta record a song. This may be the 2-chord song. It might be a chill song. I just realized Natalie didn't promote herself. But she has stuff posted on her Instagram. I'll try to find that right now. Natalie's Instagram is lipophrenia. LYPOPHRENIA _ I think. I'm gotta bounce, everybody. I've gotta take a. It was great to talk with you all. Hope you can come back and tune in again sometime. If you wanna come on the podcast, just let me know.